Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson, Zero in X-Force, and this is my DC comic pull list for the week of September 28th, 2011, and today is the 30th. It is a Friday. And first up here for my DC is Aquaman #1. This is a comic book I was really looking forward to. I've been really into Aquaman ever since the Brightest Day series, and I haven't really had too much of him since then. So it was really nice that this series came out when it did. And when I heard that Jeff Johns was going to be writing it, I was really excited about it. First up, this is a really great first issue. It introduces you to Aquaman in, I think, a great way. First of all, there's a little bit of humor in here. You have these people that are kind of ragging on Aquaman and thinking he's this underwhelming superhero. And Aquaman addresses those issues both with action and with some interesting gestures. So I thought it was great. The gestures I'm talking about here is he tips this waitress with a gold coin and says like, "Hey, put your kids through college." That was after someone had said something negative about him in the restaurant he was in. Stuff like that. So I thought it was really great. There was a few of those, and I thought it was a really humorous way to address these stereotypes people have of Aquaman that don't really know or read much of Aquaman. So I did like that quite a bit. The other thing I really liked in this was the introduction of this new race. This race of these creatures that live deep on the bottom of the ocean. Really quite cool. I mean, they were very scary and intense. In fact, there's a scene towards the end where these fishermen see one of these creatures off the side of his ship, and it's just kind of floating there in the water in this pool of blood, and really scary. Like, I could imagine seeing that being out in the middle of the ocean at night. It was very creepy, and I think the creature says something like, "There's food up here," talking to the other creatures that are now gathering around the fishing boat. So I'm really looking forward to future issues here. It was a great first issue, and yeah, this is going to be one of my #1 DCs. This is definitely one of my favorites of all the new 52, and one of the best ones of the week. I want to also say that this is the last week of the new DC 52s, and it's definitely time to make choices. I've been picking up #1s all over the place just because I wanted to try them, but I didn't get all of them, but I did get quite a bit. You know, I didn't get 52, but I got like, I don't know, maybe 40, something like that. Anyways, I want to have to make choices now, so it's gonna be tough. There wasn't any of the DCs that I really hated. There was a few I didn't care for. A lot of them were really strong, and then still quite a few were just fantastic. Next up here is Superman #1. I really didn't have... I mean, I definitely wanted to get Superman #1, but I wasn't expecting it to be, like, great. The one I was expecting to be great, of course, is Action Comics #1. So when I opened this up, I was first impressed with the art inside. From the art on the cover, I was thinking it was going to be a book that I wasn't really going to care for the art very much. So, looking at this ugly cover, by the way, it was a terrible cover to choose. I opened up the book and I was quite surprised. The artwork is a lot better than I was expecting. So that was a great plus. The other thing I really liked here is the panels were really the way they worked them. There's just a lot going on, a lot of action, a lot of explosions and fire and stuff, and the way they work the panels and onto the pages, when you first turn the page, you kind of see everything at once, and it's a little overwhelming at first. But then you focus on reading the panels, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of feeling what I think the team here wants you to feel. And yeah, I thought it was quite good, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And definitely this is going to be one that I want to keep my eye on, and hopefully it gets even stronger. Now I'm going to try and go through these comics a lot quicker than I normally do. I noticed that my videos have been getting longer and longer, and I really appreciate all you guys watching my videos, but I figure it might be better if I try to make my videos shorter and then maybe just post more of them. So kind of go through quick reviews and then do individual reviews on like maybe 2 comics at a time, something like that. But for now I'm just going to try and hurry up and get through them quicker. Next up here is Teen Titans #1. I was kind of worried about this one. Teen Titans is one that I really wanted to like, and I really wasn't sure how it was going to be. I've seen some of the artwork, wasn't too crazy for what I saw, and I definitely wasn't crazy about the covers. Even this cover here, when I picked it up, I was really worried because, I mean, look at Superman on the cover. He looks like he's from like New Jersey. Like, I mean, terrible, awful. So I was really quite worried. Plus we have like Spider Lady over there on the right hand corner and some guy with giant fists. I wasn't really feeling any of that, so I was not expecting to like this, but I wanted to. So I picked it up and I opened it up, and I have to say, another comic with a terrible cover that the artwork was a lot better inside. It wasn't perfect. There was still there was choices in character designs that I didn't really care for, but with that said, the artwork is solid, and the story was a lot better than I thought it might be. You have some stuff going on with Kid Flash, a mistake he makes, and it's mostly focused on my favorite character of the group, and that is Tim Drake, Red Robin. I wasn't sure how I was going to like his new costume. I'm used to, Red Robin being one way, and now he kind of has this like bird thing going on. But it wasn't that bad. I think it'll grow on me. So the characters that we're really focused on here were Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, and Red Robin. At the very end, we get to see Superboy, and I was pleased, at least at this point. Superboy looked more like he did in the Superboy comic that I also read and liked quite a bit. He looks nothing like Jersey Boy here on the front, and I was very glad about that. I really hope they don't go this direction, but they keep on showing him this way, so that'll be a big problem if they go that way. Anyways, I really enjoyed it, and this is definitely one that's going to stay in my collection. Next up here is one I originally wasn't sure if I was going to pick up, but I just had to try it. I figure, out of all the Green Lantern books I've tried, there's 4 of them, I've tried 3 of them. So I haven't tried Green Lantern Corps, because I figure if I'm going to have any Green Lanterns, with me trying to make my comic pull list a lot smaller, I'm going to probably only have 1, if any, Green Lantern. So I thought this might be a good choice, because you're getting a lot of stuff in one comic. You're getting one or members of all the core teams here on one team. I thought it might be a good choice. Plus, I really like Kyle. I think Kyle is one of my favorite Green Lanterns, even though Hal Jordan's still #1 to me. Kyle is still, has always been one of my all-time favorite Green Lanterns. Now, This cover here, I was hoping we were going to see a little more of everybody. There was a little bit of that, but it was mostly kind of focused on Kyle's origin. And you kind of like, when you're first reading it, you're not really aware that it's actually in the past. I mean, I picked it up because obviously I know that Kyle became Green Lantern quite a long time ago. But they kind of let you know later on when you shift back to present time. So I thought this was a really solid comic. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The other two that I read, Red Lantern and Green Lantern, I liked also. So it's going to be really hard for me to choose which of these, because they're all really strong in their own way. Obviously, Jeff Johns writes Green Lantern, so it'd be hard to choose this over that. But I really like what they're doing here with Kyle, and I really like the potential this comic has. So I'm really going to think about this one, and it has a really good chance in staying in my comic pull list. Next up here is another comic that I wasn't sure I was going to pick up, but I just couldn't resist, and that is Justice League Dark. Now, when I first look at this Justice League Dark, I don't know, I start thinking of like Snickers Dark and Milky Way Dark. I almost expected to open up the comic and have some like dark chocolate fallout. So the name's kind of catchy, but it has that kind of feel anyway. But I love the cover, and I love this team. So I was really looking forward to this. I was really wanting to like this. So that was a good start. I opened it up. First off, I really was enjoying the artwork. It has a different feel to it, kind of like a realism type of artwork, and it was really speaking to me. Now, obviously, I wasn't expecting all the characters to have a lot of development time in the first comic, but I liked how they started. Some of my favorite characters that are going to be on this team are Madame Xanadu, and of course Zartana and Deadman. These are all characters I really like. So this was a comic that I knew, especially with its supernatural focus, that was going to be a taste that I think I was going to like, and I did. Like I said, the artwork is really strong, and the creepiness that's going on here is something else I really do like. I especially like the last few panels. I think it really showed what's coming. Enchantress here has kind of gone crazy, and it's something that it looks like it's going to be really good. It's going to be a question mark, though, because like I said, I do have a lot of choices, but what's leaning towards giving this a good chance of staying in my pull list is that it's a team book, and you get better value with team books, especially with a great team like this. And last up here for my DC is Voodoo. This is one I was really looking forward to. I wasn't sure how they're going to handle this character, but I did always like this character way back in the day when she was with Image. So, opening this up, at first I was really liking it. I mean, this is definitely the third mature sexual themed book that I've read from DC this month. The first two being Catwoman and a little bit there in Red Hood. But I felt it had its place here. The main character is a stripper, so a good hunk of the book is focused in a strip joint, and the artist seems to draw women very well, I guess you can say. They're all attractive, and it's definitely interesting to have a main character like this focused in that kind of environment. So, even though, this is definitely not a kid book, for what its purpose was, I felt the environments worked. The main character, you definitely were feeling that, there's something a little different about her. Obviously, she was very attractive, and she's kind of seducing this individual that works for, I believe, it was the government. And I can almost tell you the whole book in just a few sentences. Basically, takes him back to her room, and this attractive woman ends up turning into an alien. And then at the end of the book, she shifts into him, so she's going to do some espionage. For what it was, I thought it was, it was a decent book. It wasn't terrible. I think a lot of reviews were bad on this book. I thought it was actually for, I know this character, so you didn't really feel any depth in her character yet. She still was kind of flat because I don't think you're supposed to know. She's just was the stripper who turned into an alien. So, I think that's just where it starts out. I know this writer tends to build slow, but end really strong. So there's definitely a question mark here. I did enjoy the book. I felt it was, gave me enough to want to read more. My only issue is this going to be a book that maybe would be better to pick up on trade? Especially, it seems that this writer is starting off really slow. But this is definitely a story I would like to see. So if I don't pick it up on singles, I'm definitely going to look out for it on trade. And with that said, those are my DCs for the week, and that is my DCs for the month. It is now time for me to make my choices, and I have to tell you, it's going to be really hard, especially with the new X books, Uncanny X-Men #1 and Wolverine and the X-Men #1. Both of those I am for sure getting, because I've really been enjoying Schism. So, it's going to be tough, but I do know this. The majority of my books, the lion's share of my books that I'm going to be reading every month are definitely going to be DC. This whole DC relaunch has really won me over. So many great books, and I'm going to get as many as I can fit in my limited budget. So with that said, those are my DC reviews. I would love to hear from you guys. What books are you guys keeping? Which books did you feel you definitely want to read once a month? And which do you think you might pick up on trade later? And which do you just not care about at all? I would love to hear from you guys. I am definitely going to be posting a video just about that. Which of the books that I picked up that I'm keeping, and which that I'm not going to. So, with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.